Sawadee Krap. Welcome to another edition of Connections for Thai Move Talk. I am your host, Brian Berletic. I want to talk about the Chinese-Lao-Thai high-speed rail network. I want to talk about the positive impact it is already having on the region, even though it hasn't been finished yet. And I want to talk about this because if you have been following the Western media, you will see them trying to depict China as a huge threat to the entire region, to its neighbors in Asia, including here in Southeast Asia. And I want to show people how nothing could be further from the truth. China is rising and it is helping the rest of Asia rise with it. Now, the Western media is lying about this because they represent interests in Washington, in London, and in Brussels, who seek to maintain primacy over Asia, even though none of these interests actually are in Asia. And they see the rise of China as a threat to generations of imperialism, and they think that by turning people against each other here in Asia, they can impede the rise of the entire region. First, let's take a look at the map. This is Kunming in southern China. The rail network goes to the border with Laos, Bhutan, and then through northern Laos to Vientiane, the capital. Across the Mekong River is Nong Khai in northeastern Thailand, a region also known as Isan. And from there, it will travel to Korat and then Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. The section in Thailand is under construction. This section through Laos is already complete, and it went operational in December of last year. If you look at the map closely, you will notice that Laos is completely landlocked. It is an extremely impoverished country because it is isolated. It is isolated. It also has extremely difficult geography. It is very mountainous, especially in northern Laos. And in order to send people and goods through the country or to another country in the form of trade and tourism, you have to overcome that geography. China has built highways, modern highways in Laos, and has now built this railway. And this is what is helping Laos overcome this isolation that has kept it impoverished for so long. And if you look at the map, you'll notice that northeastern Thailand is also somewhat isolated. It's always playing catch up economically in Thailand, and this railway is going to help solve this problem for Isan as well. This article from The Nation, Thailand lures Chinese rail tourists with Isan delight. So again, Isan is northeastern Thailand. 3 northeastern provinces will be promoted as a major domestic and international destination with a focus on luring Chinese visitors via the China-Laos Railway. Now, the high-speed railway going through Thailand is still under construction, but there are standard railways already in place. You can go from Bangkok to the border with Laos by train, and then you can transfer over to the high-speed railway in Laos and continue onward to China. This means that people and goods can still move through Thailand and meet up with this high-speed railway in Laos, and they already are. And this article in particular is talking about how to benefit from that fact before the section in Thailand is completed. Now, the next article, I pointed this out previously. High-speed rail blues concern has grown over the influx of fresh produce from China into the Thai market after the China-Laos bullet train railway commenced operations early this month, which they're talking about December 2021. Opposition MPs submitted a motion to question the government last week following a report that 33 containers with 20 tons each of fresh vegetables from China were sent to Thailand in the first week of December. These opposition parties are backed by the US, and these are the same parties who are trying to cancel the Thai-Chinese high-speed railway project and replace it with what? With this Hyperloop, which does not even exist. It is theoretical technology being prototyped in the United States. This politician here, Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit, he went to the United States to see these very crude prototypes that are probably a decade or more away from ever moving anybody in any significant way. And he's saying that Thailand should cancel its project with China and focus on Hyperloop instead. He even had a press conference where he just openly said that Thailand has to do business with China. It's a big country. It's in the region. It's impossible not to do business with China, but that it should diversify away from China and do more business with the United States, Europe, and Japan. Just like Washington, D.C. wants Thailand to do. How interesting. Now, the opposition was complaining that all of these goods are coming in from China and that the Lao-China high-speed railway, this is a bad thing. What can we do to fight back? But the article even says the China-Lao Railway is a great opportunity for all three nations, China, Laos, and Thailand. Thailand can likewise reap the opportunity to export fresh produce, particularly fruit, to China via the rail route. I've also talked about this recent article, January 11th, focus on Laos China rail amid fruit export hopes. Down here it says Thailand looks set to negotiate with the Lao and Chinese governments for closer logistic and freight transport cooperation through the Laos China high-speed train project in the hope that it will boost fresh fruit exports. So this is Thailand already looking to benefit from the completion of the segment through Laos only, not the section through Thailand, which is still under construction. And now there's this article. First Thai rice shipment delivered using Laos China Railway. This is January 20th, 2022. A first shipment, 1,000 tons of Thai rice has been delivered using the Lao Chinese Railway to Chongqing, marking a new chapter in exports to China, the Agriculture and Cooperatives Ministry announced on Thursday. The railway, which commenced service early last month, they're talking about December 2021, opened the possibility of extending export routes to other Chinese provinces and farther to Central Asia, East Asia, the Middle East, Russia, and Europe. And that's something else people don't really think about when they're trying to condemn the Chinese Lao Railway and the Chinese Lao Thai Railway. China not only has an immense domestic market, but its infrastructure has extended all the way to the west. China has connected Vietnam to its own rail networks and also to a rail link going all the way to Europe. So there are Vietnamese goods being shipped by train thanks to China and its Belt and Road Initiative all the way to Europe now. The same can now happen for Lao and Thai products. China is tangibly lifting the rest of Asia up with it. It has built infrastructure for itself domestically to boost its economy and also beyond its borders to help facilitate trade between itself and the rest of the world. And it is helping other countries get access to this infrastructure. It is also building this infrastructure inside of their borders as well. Laos having its high-speed railway completed, it is already benefiting from this. Thailand, which is still building its section of the Chinese Lao-Thai high-speed rail network, is already benefiting from the section traveling through Laos. So I want people to keep that in mind. The benefits of doing business with China, which are tangible, which are things that you can see with your eyes, versus the West and what it claims it's offering the region. Security from what? Security from conflicts. The US itself is the primary driver behind. Democracy is the process of self-determination. So how can a foreign country be helping promote democracy within your own political system? It just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense because it's not an honest proposition. The West is here to maintain hegemony over the region as it has done for generations, and it is hiding behind the notion of promoting democracy and providing security in a region it is not even located in on a map. It is trying to impede peace, prosperity, and progress, not promote it. That does it for this week's edition of Connections for Thai Move Talk. Until next week, Sawadee Kap.